Good morning. I hereby call to order this 13th meeting of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for the year 2022. I do want to thank everyone who's in attendance and welcome those that are watching us today via live stream. In honor of Veterans Day, which our nation recognizes tomorrow, we are asking one of our staff persons to lead us in this morning's pledge. We welcome Derek Rule from our Bureau of Technical Utility Services. He is a former corporal in the U.S. Marine Corps and former sergeant in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. Derek?
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Derek. And Derek also reminded me this morning that today is the 247th birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps, which was founded November 10th, 1775, in Philadelphia, and I forget where in Philadelphia, but he'll remind me later. I know it was a tavern. So. Thank you. As a reminder, today's meeting, it is open to the public, and the Commission will act on various matters. There's no opportunity for the public to address the Commission at this public meeting. However, the public meeting motions, statements, and video will be available on the Commission's website later today. So the first matter on this morning's agenda is the approval of the minutes for September 15, 2022, and I recognize Commissioner Coleman, who is the editor of the minutes.
Well, thank you, Chairman. I have reviewed the minutes of the September 15, 2022 public meeting, and I move they be approved as submitted.
You have heard the motion for the approval of the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Zerfus. Any further discussion or edits on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0 to approve the minutes. At this time, we'll call up our Secretary of the Commission, Rosemary Chiavetta, who will lead us through this morning's agenda.
Good morning, Madam Chairman and Commissioners. Your bureaus and offices have prepared the following agenda items for your consideration. Therefore, let us begin on page 1 with matters presented by Director Sophie and the Office of Special Assistance. It is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the single item on page 1, the application of CSX transportation, and continue the omnibus on page 2 to include both items on page 2, ending the omnibus with the formal complaint of the Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement versus West Penn Utilities.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Unora, second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 3. It is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the formal complaint of Rosa Brown versus the Philadelphia Gas Works.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Zerfus. Any discussion? I do have comments I just want to verbally place on the record. On this hearing date, the arrearage in this case totaled $18,253. This is an amount that is impossible, I believe, to repay for most customers. Chapter 14 was enacted to give utilities the tools to increase timely collection of arrears. Utilities that do not use the tools provided by the General Assembly and allow arrearages to accumulate past the point of being reasonable and manageable for the customer threatens full rate paying customers with higher rates resulting from other customers' delinquencies. Allowing arrearages to grow to insurmountable amounts also harms the customer carrying the debt because if the debt cannot be repaid, vital utility service cannot be restored. At times when a customer has an informal complaint or a formal complaint pending before the Commission, the utility maintains the ability to terminate service if the customer is not paying the current charges, preventing them from accruing additional debt. I ask that our utilities utilize that discretion compassionately and reasonably. So those are my general comments. Any further discussion on this matter? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Madam Chairman, it should be noted that the second item on page 3, the application of Applied Synergy Logistics LLC has been postponed to the public meeting of December 8, 2022. Turning to page 4, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the application of Busy Bee Kid Shuttle LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Unora. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 5, and matters presented by Director Diskin and the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion both items on page 5, beginning with the tentative order canceling the licenses of certain electric generation suppliers, and continuing the omnibus to include both items on page 6, both items on page 7, both items on page 8, and both items on page 9, ending the omnibus with the electric generation supplier application of Premier Energy Advisors, LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sure. I heard some hesitancy in that one.
I'm getting over a cold.
Okay,
so-
okay, all right. Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Zerfus. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 10, and matters presented by Chief Counsel Hicks and the Law Bureau, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the petition for rescission filed by Daniel J. Reith, LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Continuing on page 10, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the petition filed by Charge VCPA.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Unora, second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion? I will say I do have a motion, so I would like to turn it over to Vice Chairman DeFrank to preside.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I recognize you on your motion.
You notice that I just moved the gavel up there. I offer my motion, asked it to be spread into the record as if I read it in its entirety, and I will abbreviate the comments. On February 4th, 2022, Charge EVC, PA, filed a petition requesting that the Commission initiate a proceeding that will result in issuance of a policy statement on electric utility rate design for electric vehicle charging. Charge VC noted that by 2030, EV sales in the U.S. are expected to be 25 to 30% of the total vehicle sales and reaching 45 to 50% by 2035. Charge VC contends this growth of EVs potentially presents the most significant load growth challenge for electric utilities in decades, expounding further that if customers do not receive price signals through the rates and other encouragement to charge during off-peak periods, this growth could drive significant increases to system investments and thus rates for all customers. Conversely, the increase in consumption posed by EV charging has the potential to reduce system charges and rates for all customers if infrastructure investments are managed effectively in conjunction with increased electricity consumption. As Charge VC posits, rate design has the capacity to shift this new EV load into off-period hours when system load is lower, which likely will reduce further system costs as well as energy costs. On February 25, 2022, the Commission issued a secretarial letter requesting comments addressing whether the PUC should initiate an EV charging rate design policy statement proceeding. The vast majority of the Commission comments received were supportive of the Commission's consideration of electric vehicle rate design. The common thread found in the comments is support for the establishment of an informal process to first explore the issues surrounding EV charging rate design. In particular, the Commission received comments from numerous parties advocating for the initiation of an informal process to further inform the Commission of the issues regarding EV charging rate design. Nearly all major vehicle manufacturers have announced their intentions to commit significant capital to EV production and to transition sales to EVs. Transportation electrification is already underway and is projected to grow exponentially. Pennsylvania's Department of Environmental Protection and Department of Transportation have led efforts to support current and further deployment of EV charging and ownership in the Commonwealth, including implementing various federal directives and policies. This commission, as the economic regulator of 11 EDCs, serving over 5 million accounts, is charged by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act with considering EDC rate designs for EVs. While the exact timing and significance of the EV load growth impact on EDCs cannot be known with precision, numerous indicators point to significant increases in EV utilization in the near future and long term. To that end, and to ensure this commission maintains a nimble posture ahead of this electrification transition, it is imperative that we research and consider rate designs that advance effective management of energy and infrastructure costs. As such, we agree that a working group should be convened to better inform the Commission regarding the rate design options that are best suited for EV charging and management of the increased load that the EV rollout may place on the electric distribution charge. Therefore, we move that 1, Charge VC PA request to initiate a formal policy statement proceeding is granted in part and denied in part, consistent with the motion. 2, 30 days of issuance of this opinion and order. The Bureau of Technical Utility Services shall convene an electric vehicle charging rate design working group of interested parties, including but not limited to the parties to this docket, to discuss electrical vehicle rate design. And I do want to note, if I didn't note in the beginning, I have another part. 3, the recommendations of the working group shall be filed at this docket no later than March 31st, 2023. 4, the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, in conjunction with the Law Bureau, shall prepare an order considering Charge VC's PA's request for a policy statement and the working group's recommendations relative to electric vehicle rate design by June 1st, 2023. And 5, the Law Bureau shall issue an opinion order consistent with this joint motion, which is being offered jointly by myself and Vice Chairman DeFrank.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, for your motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Zerfas seconds. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes, Vice Chairman, I have a statement on the motion.
Commissioner Yanora?
Thank you. I asked that my statement be entered into the record as if I read it in its entirety. I note that I continue to support a cost-based approach to rate design regarding EV charging that reflects the actual use of the electrical grid. If a widely adopted demands of the EV charging have a potential or alter current electric demands curves in unpredictable ways, I agree that the Commission should consider how electric distribution companies can ensure EV rates align with any cost or benefits that the EV may impose on jurisdictional utility electrical services. I would also like to clarify that EV charging rate design should be a cost base and not included in subsidies collected by Pennsylvania utility rate makers. Safeguards need to be in place so that the benefits set forth in this petition before us today be achieved as the organic relations of the economic needs of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Unora. Any other comments?
Mr. Vice Chairman, I have a statement.
Commissioner Zerfus?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, Madam Chair, Madam Secretary. I have a statement I would like added to the public record, please, and I will read it as if I'm reading it in its entirety. But today, the Commission continues its important work regarding electric utility rate design for electric vehicle charging in our Commonwealth. We do so cognizant of and in coordination with the equally critical work of our sibling agencies, the Pennsylvania Departments of Transportation and Environmental Protection, both of which serve very distinct but complementary purposes in the development and deployment of EV charging infrastructure. I fully support the definitive timelines for commencement of the work group and its deliverables, while giving the public time to comment and time for the Commission to act in line with federal requirements. I would like to detail several key factors that, in my view, are crucial to our inquiry. In short, I support a work group that leads to an order providing guidance on electric rate design for EV charging, and I urge participants to consider the following: that it is important to develop effective rate design mechanisms that lead to environmental, health, and economic development benefits, that the principles of affordability and equity are paramount and that the needs of all consumers should be included, that our Commonwealth should be a leader, proceeding without delay to demonstrate that to the federal government that our actions are deliberate and meaningful so that we can maximize all potential federal funding available to Pennsylvania, and any related reports issued by our sibling agencies in the course of interagency collaboration should be considered to help inform our efforts. Our Commonwealth is well positioned to be a leader in the EV charging landscape. Our action today to move the rate design discussion forward in a strategic but prompt manner is necessary and advisable. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments? Seeing none, on the motion. Those in favor, aye. Those opposed, no.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes by a vote of 5-0. Is there any objection to taking the previous roll call on the matter? Sees none. Matter passes 5-0 as amended by the motion. Chair's back to you, Madam Chairman.
Well, thank you very much.
Turning to page 11, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the first item on page 11, beginning with the policy statement on public and private fire protection. And Madam Chairman, it should be noted that the second item on page 11 has been withdrawn by the Bureau. And continuing the omnibus to include both items on page 12, ending with the tentative order canceling the certificates of public convenience for certain motor carriers.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Unora. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 13, it is recommended by Chief Administrative Law Judge Rainey and the Office of Administrative Law Judge that the Commission adopt the recommended decision of ALJs Haas and Coogan in the rate case proposal of the Water Department of the Borough of Ambler.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Madam Chairman, that concludes the regular agenda. Turning now to the carry-in agenda. On page 1 of the carry-in, it is recommended by the Office of Special Assistance that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the formal complaint and petition for reconsideration filed by Amanda Polk Herr versus West Penn Power Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Yonora, second by Commissioner Surface. Is there any discussion? I do have comments just to verbally place on the record. As I stated in an earlier matter here, this is another arrearage matter that is before the Commission. The amount here is $20,334, which, as I stated in the previous one, I think this is definitely an amount that's probably impossible to repay by most customers. Once again, I just urge the utilities to use the tools that they have available to them to work with consumers so we can avoid seeing matters such as this before us. Thank you very much. Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
On turning to page 2 of the carry-in, it is recommended by the Bureau of Technical Utility Services that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the petition by the Duquesne Light Company regarding its default service plan.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion?
Madam Chairman, on behalf of myself and Commissioner Yonora, I offer the following joint motion.
Vice Chairman DeFrank.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please submit this joint motion to the record as though I have read it in its entirety. Before the Commission is the petition of Duquesne Light Company for emergency approval of a contingency modification to its default service plan. In its petition, Duquesne Light requests approval to implement an emergency contingency plan for the procurement of one unsubscribed tranche of default electric supply for its medium commercial and industrial customers. Duquesne conducted a solicitation for 4 tranches of supply for medium C&I customers for a period of December 1st, 2022 through February 28th, 2023. However, Duquesne Light was able to procure only 3 of the 4 needed tranches. Duquesne states that it is requesting this modification because it is concerned about the volatility of the spot market at this time and believes that obtaining supply through the spot market should only be undertaken if the proposed options herein are not successful. The company proposed 3 options for the solicitation. The first proposal is to implement a step-up offer where it would offer wholesale suppliers that 1 of the 3 filled medium C&I tranches the opportunity to accept the unsubscribed tranche at the auction clearing price. If no wholesale supplier accepts the step-up offer, Duquesne would modify the unsubscribed 3-month tranche to a 12-month tranche and conduct a sealed bid auction for the 12-month product. Finally, Duquesne states that if neither option 1 nor option 2 succeed, it would then utilize the spot market. The Commission has previously approved a similar design to the step-up proposal contemplated here. Specifically, the Commission approved PECO's current default service program, which included a 2-stage auction for solar alternative energy credits. Accordingly, Duquesne Light's step-up proposal is consistent with the Commission-approved procurement process in the PECO matter. Further, we note that Section 54 of the Commission's regulations provides that a default service provider may petition for modifications to the approved procurement plans when material changes in the wholesale energy markets occur. Therefore, we move that 1, Duquesne Light Company's petition for emergency approval of contingency modification to its default service plan is hereby granted, consistent with this motion, and 2, that the Bureau of Technical Utility Services prepare an opinion and order consistent with this motion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You have heard the joint motion of Vice Chairman DeFrank and Commissioner Yonora. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion on the joint motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Is there any objection to taking the previous roll call on the matter as amended? Seeing no objection, the matter as amended passes 5-0.
Madam Chairman and Commissioners, that concludes all agenda items to be considered today.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. Before we adjourn today, I wish to offer a few remarks in recognition of Veterans Day, which our nation recognizes every November 11th. It is a time to celebrate and honor our nation's servicemen and women of the armed forces of the United States. It is also a time to acknowledge the many sacrifices that they must make. Veterans play a strong role in our public utilities and in our state and national workforce as well. And at this time, I would ask if we have any members, veterans from our armed services that are here with us, if you could please stand for recognition. We thank you for your service, and some of those that were standing in the crowd, we have members of our PUC employees, which we are very proud of, and we congratulate them for answering the call of duty. We also want to recognize that one of my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Yunora, is here and has served in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. We want to thank him for his service as well. Many at the PUC employees have served in many branches of the armed forces, which include the U.S. Marine Corps, where we had Derek Rule that led us in our Pledge of Allegiance, as well as the U.S. Army and the U.S. Air Force, and the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, the U.S. Navy, the New Jersey National Guard, and the U.S. Army National Guard. All of those we have employees that served in many parts of these branches. So we just salute you and thank you for your service to our country. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Yunora, second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion on adjourning? I don't think so, right? All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.